Welcome, chess enthusiasts, to this epic battle of the minds. Today, we witness two legendary players engage in a battle of wits, skill, and brilliance. As always, it's a pleasure to have you all here with us as we dive deep into the world of chess strategy and tactics. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this classical journey of intellect and genius. Are you ready? Let the game begin. Today, we have an exciting game between Ikwan_Nazir playing as white and Sahan_8998 playing as black on chess.com. The game started with a classic opening, 1, e4, played by white. Black responded with 1, nc6, a move that is not played very often but can lead to some interesting positions. White then continued with 2, nf3, attacking the knight, which was defended by 2, d6 leading to Nimzowitsch defense declined. Williams variation. The Nimzowitsch defense declined with the Williams variation is a chess opening that starts with the moves 1, e4 nc6 2, nf3 d6. It is a relatively uncommon opening, but can catch your opponent off guard and lead to interesting positions. After the initial moves, white usually continues with 3, d4, controlling the center and preparing for a possible pawn break with e5. Black can then opt to play 3, nf6, putting pressure on white's e4 pawn, or 3, g6, preparing to fianchetto their bishop and control the long diagonal. The Williams variation, named after the English Grandmaster Simon Williams, involves playing 4, nc3 and 5, bc4. With this setup, white aims to develop their pieces quickly and aggressively, putting pressure on black's position. Black can respond in a variety of ways, such as playing 4, e6 to control the center, or 4, nf6 to put pressure on white's e4 pawn. Overall, the Nimzowitsch defense declined with the Williams variation is a dynamic and interesting opening for players who like to take their opponents out of their comfort zone and play unconventional positions. It requires careful planning and calculation, but can lead to exciting and unpredictable games. Continue to the game. On move 3, white played 3, d3, controlling the center and preparing to develop the bishop. Black responded with 3, e5, claiming space in the center and aiming to develop the dark squared bishop. After 4, b2, white completed the development of the kingside pieces, preparing to castle kingside. Black took the opportunity to play 4, f5, challenging white's center and creating some tension in the position. White continued with 5, nc3, developing the knight and preparing to put pressure on the d5 square. Black then captured on e4 with 5, fxe4, opening up the f-file and creating an isolated pawn on d6. On move 6, white developed the knight with 6, dx e4, recapturing the pawn and aiming to control the center. Black continued with 6, nf6, developing the knight and putting pressure on the e4 pawn. White played 7, h3, preventing the knight from jumping to g4, and black responded with 7, d5, opening up the position and aiming to gain some space. White played 8, bb5, attacking the e4 pawn and creating a pin on the d6 knight. Black captured on e4 with 8, dxe4, hoping to free the knight from the pin. White then played 9, nxe5, exploiting the pin and attacking the queen. Black responded with 9, qxd1+, capturing the knight and activating the queen. On move 10, white played 10, nxd1, recapturing the queen with the knight and developing a new piece. Black then played 10, bf5, developing the bishop and aiming to castle kingside. White continued with 11, b3, developing the light squared bishop and preparing to castle kingside. Black played 11, a6, attacking the bishop and forcing it to move. And that's where we stand after 11 moves. The opening was played solidly by both sides, and the position is relatively balanced. We'll see how the players continue to develop their pieces and fight for control of the board. Black just played their last move 12, bxc6, leaving their pawn structure on the queen side doubled, which may become a weakness for them later on. White now responds with 13, nc3, offering to exchange a knight for black's pawn on d6. This could help white control more space in the center and open up lines for their pieces. Black accepts the exchange with 13, 000, putting their king on a safer position and further connecting their rooks. White castles kingside with 14:00, following the principle of developing their king for safety and connecting their rooks as well. At this point, the opening phase of the game is over, and both players have developed their pieces and castled their kings. White has a slight advantage with better control of the center and the bishop pair, but black has no serious weaknesses and can still put up a good defense. The stage is set for an interesting middle game, with both players looking for opportunities to gain an advantage and push towards victory. At move 16, we have a capture on c3 with the knight. This move is crucial as it gets rid of white's light squared bishop, which was a potentially strong attacking piece. Black's knight takes the bishop, and now white recaptures with their king's knight on c3. At move 17, we see another trade, this time the rooks on f8 and d7. Black recaptures with their knight on d7, and white's knight jumps to f7, forking the king and the rook on d8. Moving on to move 19, white advances their pawn to a4. This move threatens to create a passed pawn on the queenside, which can be very powerful in the endgame. On move 20, black pushes their g-pawn to attack white's knight on f3. White simply moves their knight back to g5, putting pressure on black's position. At move 22, white moves their bishop to e3, attacking black's knight on f6. This move puts a lot of pressure on black's position, as they need to find a way to defend their knight. At move 24, black makes a critical mistake and plays e3, which allows white to capture with their bishop and fork black's queen and rook on d8. Black tries to counter with their own attack on white's king, but it's too little too late. The game comes to a dramatic conclusion on move 36, where white delivers a checkmate with their bishop and pawn, trapping black's king in the corner. This was a well-played game by white, who took advantage of black's mistakes and applied pressure throughout the game. The conclusion: white played a solid game, developing their pieces quickly and putting pressure on black's position. Black tried to counter with a pawn advance on move 4, f5, but this allowed white to gain space in the center with 5, nc3. White's well-timed 10, nxd1 allowed him to capture black's knight and gain an advantage. Black's 11, a6 was a positional mistake, as it allowed white to exchange their bishop for black's knight on c6, further weakening black's pawn structure. White continued to make strong moves, and their dominance was evident by move 21, bxg5, where they won a pawn and improved their position. The game concluded in a stunning manner with 36, bxc5, delivering a checkmate and ending the game in favor of Ikhwan_Nazir. In summary, white played an excellent game, showcasing good strategic play, strong opening and mid-game moves, and a decisive finish, resulting in a well-deserved victory. One lesson that can be learned from this game is the importance of developing pieces and controlling the center of the board. Both players made several moves that did not contribute to the development of their pieces or control of the center, which gave their opponent an advantage. In particular, black's 7, d5 and 8.dxc4 moves were premature and allowed white's bishop to occupy a strong central square. White, on the other hand, was able to capitalize on black's weaknesses and gain a significant advantage through better piece placement and control of the center. This highlights the importance of following sound opening principles in chess, which involve developing pieces, controlling the center, and protecting the king. Thank you so much for watching this exciting chess game on our channel. We hope you enjoyed watching this intense battle of chess, and that you were able to learn something new about chess. Until next time, keep playing and studying chess, and we'll see you in the next video.